This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute investment advice. Can Deepseek build helpful trading strategies? Today we're putting it through a rigorous 3-step challenge to see if it can convert an indicator into a full strategy, improve an existing strategy with additional logic, and build a completely new strategy from scratch. We highly appreciate a like, comment, and subscription on this video. And check out the Trading IQ Discord server, where we have a growing, thriving trading community that talks analysis, backtesting, and anything related to trading. We're going to kick this video up with challenge number 1, which is having Deepseek AI convert a trading indicator into a strategy. And I found the perfect candidate for this first challenge. Heiken IQ, which is a proprietary oscillator based on Heiken issued prices developed by Trading IQ. The easiest way to figure out what Heiken IQ is doing is to look for these green circles and know that these green circles constitute a hypothetical short signal, while these red circles constitute a hypothetical long signal. Now that that's out of the way, we're actually going to take this indicator and give it to Deepseek AI, and we're going to see if Deepseek can convert this indicator into a trading strategy. As soon as this green circle appears here, at the close of the bar that the green circle appeared, I want a simulated short position to be taken. Additionally, right when this red circle appears here, at the close of the bar where this red circle appeared, I want a simulated long position to be taken. Naturally, TradingView will wait for the next bar once an entry condition is true in order to take a simulated position, but we don't want that to happen for our challenge. We want our strategy to enter a simulated trade right when the entry condition is true, and this will be a little tougher for Deepseek to figure out. Now, you'll notice that I've asked Deepseek here, convert this Pine Script indicator into a Pine Script strategy. Whenever a green circle appears, a short position must be taken, and whenever a red circle appears, a long position must be taken. Important, make sure all trades are entered at the close of the bar in which the entry signal is true, and not at the open of the next bar. So let's submit our prompt and see what we get. Deepseek has finished giving us back the code, and it's giving us this list of key changes it made. So Deepseek changed the indicator to a strategy and added the process orders on closed equals true condition. This condition is very important because if Deepseek isn't lying and it did convert process orders on closed to true, this would make sure that all simulated trades that are entered will be at the close of the bar in which the signal was true and not on the open of the next bar. So if Deepseek did fulfill this condition and successfully converted the indicator to a strategy, then it will be receiving a 10 out of 10 for this first challenge. Now it's very clear what we're looking for out of this code. So let's go ahead and add it to the chart and see if Deepseek is able to complete this challenge successfully. And let's first take a look at this long signal here. This hypothetical long signal should occur right when a red circle appears. And this simulated long trade was entered as soon as this red circle appeared on Heiken IQ. And very important to note is that this long signal was not taken at the open of the next bar, and instead was completed at the close of the bar in which the red circle appeared. This is perfect by Deepseek and exactly what we're looking for at Trading IQ. Because if we had no knowledge at all about trading in TradingView, it would be very difficult for us to spot these kinds of errors. And we can see that as soon as this green circle appears here at the peak of this Heiken IQ reading, a short position is taken at the finish of the bar where the signal occurred. This means another perfect execution by Deepseek. And Deepseek will receive a 10 out of 10 for this first challenge. Deepseek perfectly converted Heiken IQ from an indicator to a strategy and even fulfilled the tricky condition that we threw at it. Now this brings us to challenge number 2, which is the medium test for Deepseek AI. And you can see we have this backtest on our chart here. Now because we're looking at a backtest, it's very important to understand that backtests are just simulated hypothetical historical performances, are not financial advice or a guarantee of the future performance of a strategy. So we're looking at this backtest for entertainment purposes only for this video and for demonstration. We're going to ask Deepseek to take the daily time frame stock alert strategy, add an indicator, and improve the overall performance of this simulated backtest. We can see that a hypothetical 70% net return was achieved, alongside a 6.7% drawdown with a 71.34% win rate and a 1.888 profit factor. These are the 4 key metrics that we're going to be looking at when Deepseek tries to improve this backtest. Now, we can see by looking at this backtest, we're giving Deepseek the strategy that already performed hypothetically strong on past price data for this example simulation. We're asking Deepseek to do is basically this strategy earned a hypothetical return of 70% with a drawdown of 6.7%, a 1.88 profit factor, and a 71% win rate on the SPY daily chart. We need you to add one indicator or idea to this strategy to improve its hypothetical performance across the net return, drawdown, win rate, and profit factor. So the stage is set for challenge number 2. Alright, so Deepseek has finished giving us back its enhanced code, and we can see Deepseek added a volume confirmation filter. So added volume spike detection, requiring current volume to be 1.5 times greater than the 20-day average volume. Additionally, Deepseek added some parameter flexibility and is guaranteeing us that this enhanced version should improve the strategy's performance by reducing false signals with volume confirmation, increasing win rate by focusing on higher conviction moves, potentially improving the profit factor by filtering out low quality trades, and maintaining the existing performance while adding another layer of confirmation. So let's take this enhanced code, bring it back to TradingView, and see if Deepseek can live up to its words. Let's go ahead and enable this strategy and see if Deepseek is able to earn a perfect score on the medium test. And we can see that after enabling the strategy, the performance across these 4 metrics has drastically changed compared to the original version. If we take a look at this purely hypothetical performance, we can see that the net return did decrease by about 18%, down from 70% to 52%. This is quite a big decrease, all things considered. But if we take a look at the other 3 key metrics, we can see that even though return did decrease, so did the net drawdown, from about 6.7% down to 5.3%. This is considered an improvement for our simulation. We could see the win rate also increase from about 71% to 79.89%, almost an 80% win rate for our historical demonstration. This is also a substantial improvement compared to the previous win rate for our hypothetical backtest. And if we take a look at the profit factor, it's increased by almost 1 entire point, from 1.88 to 2.782, which is another substantial improvement in performance for our hypothetical backtesting here. Deepseek earns a 10 out of 10 for the medium test. We have never had an LLM score a 10 out of 10 on any test that isn't the easy test. We are back in the Deepseek text prompt, and it's time to begin challenge number 3. And you can see that we're asking Deepseek to please create a hypothetically strong performing strategy for the Bitcoin 30-minute chart. The strategy should be able to trade longs and shorts, focus on the hypothetical net return, drawdown, win rate, and profit factor. And that's all we're going to tell Deepseek to do. No clues, hints, cheats, or anything of that nature. So let's submit this prompt and see what Deepseek can come up with. And we can see Deepseek is saying here's a hypothetical high performance mean reversion momentum strategy for the Bitcoin 30-minute time frame. So the strategy titled by Deepseek is BTC 30-minute hyper scalper. Now the concept of this strategy is it combines Bollinger Bands with RSI momentum and volume confirmation for long and short entries. The long entry rule is price touches the lower Bollinger Band. 14-period RSI is less than 30, and volume is greater than the 20-period moving average. Additionally, the MACD histogram must turn positive. These are some very strict rules for a trading strategy. Now, the entry rules for short are pretty much just the exact opposite of the entry rules for long. And then we have the exit rules, which are take profit of 1.5 times ATR, a stop loss of 1 ATR, so our reward to risk ratio will always be 1.5 to 1, but then we have a trailing stop that is activated after half an ATR profit. So our risk to reward ratio won't always be 1.5 to 1 once we introduce this trailing stop. The risk management is max 2% risk per trade and no new trades if the daily drawdown is greater than 5%. Now here's the best part. Deepseek is actually giving hypothetical performance metrics backtested from 2021 to 2024 on Bitcoin 30-minute data. We don't know how Deepseek was able to perform the backtest. Maybe it's citing an academic article. Who knows? All right, traders, we are back on the TradingView chart and we've already pasted the BTC 30-minute hyper scalper into the Pime editor. And after adding the strategy to the chart, we can see that for this hypothetical backtest, the numbers are nowhere near what Deepseek said that they would be. In fact, over about a year to two of time, this strategy only turned 20 trades, only achieved a hypothetical net return of 3.7% with a drawdown of 1.26%, a 50% win rate, and a 1.785 profit factor. This means that the results for this strategy are way different than what Deepseek said they would be. The pros are that the strategy did hypothetically earn a 1.785 profit factor and was hypothetically positive in its performance, but there are far more negatives than positives when it comes to evaluating this simulation. Only 20 trades were taken over the last 1 to 2 years, and no matter how strong a strategy hypothetically is, if it never gives signals, then it's completely useless. Second, the hypothetical net return is nowhere near the Bitcoin buy and hold return over the same time period. And finally, the equity curve is pretty inconsistent with a lot of volatility. Now, when accounting for all of these factors, we have to give Deepseek a 5 out of 10 for this final challenge, which is the hardest challenge. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like AI is there yet, where traders can ask the AI to create a helpful trading strategy, and the AI can actually come up with something useful for traders. Now, when we held Deepseek's hand through challenge number 1 and challenge number 2, it gave us impressive turnaround in results. But when we left Deepseek to its own thoughts and actions, the results are unfortunately underwhelming. That said, the final score that Deepseek earns for all challenges covered in this video is a 25 out of 30, which by all means is extremely impressive relative to the other LLMs that we've tested. So now it's up to you to answer this, and you can leave a comment in the comment section below. Can AI really build helpful trading strategies? Let us know your experience. It will see you in the next video.